When I say give, I mean give with a sincere heart of gratitude and compassion, right? Because when you give, you confirm to yourself that you have more than enough. You confirm to yourself that you have an abundance. And that sense of abundance puts you in a position to receive even more success. It's amazing how the gift of giving is better than a gift received. The secret to living is giving. So live with your hands open. Because if you hold money with a clenched fist, although you are preventing money from going out, you also are preventing even more money from coming in. So live with your hands open. Give. Now, of course, be smart about it, right? Don't allow people to abuse your kindness. But at the same time, always be generous. Because the only people who really prosper in life are those who are generous and honest. Generous and honest. Be generous and honest. So give. And this concept of giving relates to all areas of our life, including our relationships. I think about, remember yesterday I was telling you about the girl that rejected me, and I was very depressed and all that. And I think about that, and when I was in high school, I tried to chase after love. And I realized something. If you try to chase after love, love will always elude you. But if you become love, love will always surround you. Holler if you hear me. Right? It's so true. It's so true. In fact, I think about that. I think about how when I was in high school, there was this guy from my neighborhood named Danny. Danny was one of the most popular kids in school. And he was friends with everyone, including the girl that I had a crush on. And so I asked him to call her on three-way with me, but not to tell her that I'm on the phone. And I listened in as, and I know it was very immature. It was very immature. But I was a very immature teenager, right? So anyway, so I'm listening in as they're talking. And Danny asked her, so what do you think about Lance? And I'll never forget when she said, ew, he's weird and ugly. And I allowed those words to depress me. I allowed those words to cause me to have low self-esteem. Now here's what interesting happened. A couple years later, I'm in college and I'm working a part-time job at the Disability Support Center on campus. And my job was to assist college students who had physical disabilities. One of the students I assisted was a blind girl, right? She was blind, also she had some learning issues. And as I got to know her, I began to realize that she had a very lonely life, right? A lot of people looked down on her, and she had a very lonely life. Now, I was very compassionate towards her because I know what it's like to be lonely. I know what it's like to have people look down on me, right? And so I was very compassionate towards her. I was very friendly towards her. And I remember it was November and Thanksgiving was coming up. And I invited her to attend my family's annual Thanksgiving dinner at my grandmother's home, right? Because I learned that she didn't have a place to go for Thanksgiving. Now, honestly, I hesitated when I was thinking about making the decision to invite her, because I wasn't sure if I really wanted to associate myself socially with her, right, because of her issues. But then I reminded myself of the golden rule, right? The golden rule. Treat others the way that you like to be treated. Do unto others as you would want them to do unto you. The golden rule. I reminded myself of the golden rule. Also, I reminded myself of the fact that I do not want to be snobby. I mean, think about it. Snobby people reject people who have issues. Snobby people reject people who have a low social status, right? Snobby people only want to hang out with people who are cool, right? I don't want to be snobby. Now, of course, we all should always stay away from people who have a negative influence on us. Holler if you hear me, right? Okay? But those are the only people that we should stay away from, right? Unless a person has a negative influence on us, we should always embrace them, all right? And so with that attitude, I reached out and I invited her to my family's annual Thanksgiving dinner. She came, she had a great time, she felt loved by my family. And at the end of the night, when I was dropping her off at home, she turned to me and she said something to me that I will never forget. She said, Lance, you are so beautiful. And those words really shocked me because no one had ever called me beautiful before. In fact, I was still holding on to those words from that girl back in high school who called me weird and ugly. And that was such a profound experience. Think about it. Think about how profound that was, though. this blind girl calling me beautiful, it showed me that true beauty is something that cannot be seen with physical eyes. True beauty is something that can be seen only through the eyes of the soul. And we are beautiful whenever we do beautiful things. Holler if you hear me. Yeah. Right? Whenever we do beautiful things, we're beautiful. Whenever we love, whenever we give, whenever we're nice to people, whenever we try to uplift people, whenever we try to reach out to people who are hurting, whenever we do beautiful things, we are beautiful. Beauty is what beauty does. Holler if you hear me. Beauty is what beauty does. And so that experience really, really got me to understand that the gift of giving is better than the gift received. And that the secret to living is giving. To really make this point clear, let me share with you this song. Check out this song. Check out this song. Yes, because you want to be more than a star. You want to be a star maker. In the end, we'll ask the question, did we live? And if we ever loved? And if our presence was a blessing or wasn't enough? That's why my biggest dream is to answer all the above by motivating others to never give up. So 40 years from now, the success will be so profound. Looking back, you see why I'm up on the stage now. It's not about myself. I'm not doing this for the praise. I'm giving back the gift that inspired me to be brave. The money's going to come if you stay true to the vision. You always get back what you keep giving.